tonight is a Grammy Award-winning rapper whose latest album is called Michael. Please welcome Killer Mike. Sir, congrats first on sweeping all of the major rap categories at the Grammys.
Hey.
Now, I'm sure you can't talk about what else happened there,
No,
but
I did sweep them like a new broom in your grandma's living room.
that's what it's there for. Grandma has it out to sweep up all those Grammys.
Shouts out to Betty, man. Rest in peace to my girl. Man.
Well, I have to ask the big question, though.
Yeah.
The big question everybody had after the Grammys, did Taylor snub Celine?
Shouts out to Taylor, man. She, God damn, she wanted the Grammys. Her boyfriend wanted the Chiefs. If she's in the poly, me and my wife need a third. We're trying to win again.
Is that what power gives you right now? You feel like you can throw off polygamy right now?
I feel like I can pull it off. The only problem is my wife's good with a gun. She doesn't agree. But I'll keep trying for all the men out there.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I was gonna say, you seem like whatever you throw out there is gonna come back to you.
I'll give it a shot.
You might as well ask, right? I mean, you are on quite the streak. I mean, as well as winning the Grammys, your son, after a three-year search for a kidney, just got a kidney.
My
right?
pony boy got his kidney. I had a talk with him about his kidney like you do a puppy. Like, this is your kidney. You're going to take care of it. Marijuana? Alcohol? No. You know what I mean? But his nurses, we were sitting there as the nurses were telling us, and I was like, God damn, this is a lot for a 21-year-old kid to be taken on. But my kid's a warrior, man. I just got to tell him he's my hero.
That's what it is. I mean, frankly, it is legitimately wonderful to hear good news happening to a good person.
Thank you so much.
What genie lamp did you rub? What do you owe your success to?
Man, I owe it to the fact that I was just too stubborn to give up. My manager, Will, from Active Management, Will Bronson, and my A&R, cuz like we're all friends, but we have just saying, just get up every day, put one foot in front of the other. So I have a lot of talent, but it took me 20 years to get here, and I was just too stubborn to quit. And I think that's half the battle, just being tenacious about it. And I want to take time to honestly thank my children, because my children have lost so much time with their dad as I was doing it. We've had great quality time, but the quantity of time has been cut short. So Malik, Anaya, Pony Boy, Mikey, just thank you guys so much for allowing Dad to do this. You know,
I love it. I mean, you've been at this for a long time, and you famously said, like, don't give up.
Don't give up.
You're never too old.
You're never too old.
I'm 45.
Well.
Could I win a best rap album? Could that happen?
As long as you got a hairline, and you do. And there we go.
You.
That's half
It's
of
creeping.
Half
It's creeping.
It looks great, though. You're on it. Maybe we're too old for porn, but rap, we got it. Rap, we're sent for rap.
There was never an age where it would have been an appropriate choice in my life.
At 18 years old, listening to Luke and the 2 Live Crew, we could throw that dick.
That was the era. I think you're right. I want to talk a little bit about your album.
Yes.
A personal album, but I want to also look at, like, you reference Satan a lot on this album. Even on the cover right here, you have devil horns.
Horns and halos.
Horns and halo, right?
Yeah.
Spirituality is a big part of this album.
Yeah.
We're in an interesting time right now.
Yeah.
People seem to be moving away from spirituality.
Yeah.
And yet it feels like you infuse a lot of your work into it. I know you have a lot of respect for the craft of hip-hop, of rap.
I do.
Do you feel like that can serve as a conduit for people who are looking for spirituality, who are looking for something? What do you see that role?
I came out with a rap album called Rap Music 12 years ago, and it was, it titled Rebellious African, That Me Be Me, and then people's music for all the people. And at that time, I realized that the only religious experiences I really had were when I listened to or was a part of music. And music is a very big part of the church. I'm a Southern black man. I grew up in Baptist and Pentecostal churches. So music was a conduit to put everybody in the room on the same frequency and the same energy. So I actually believe that people aren't away from spirituality as much as they're running from the institutions that promise them spirituality and just deliver things like give us money or we need tithing. I think that people are trying to find think that they're trying to find God and spirituality, but they're finding it in places you wouldn't regularly find it. They're finding communing with one another. They're finding it away from church and out in nature. And not that nature becomes their God as much as it's a lot easier to talk to God when you're standing under a tree smoking a joint, you know?
He's closer that way, right?
Yeah, I won't talk about my thing, but I was sitting in a jail cell and I didn't have anything to do, so I just prayed. And I just thanked God for 3 hours. I said, just thank you for the blessings I've been bestowed upon me. Thank you for the life you've given me. I invoked the spirit of my mother and my grandmother and was like, I hope you guys see me, not the jail part, but the winning part. And after I got out the next morning, I got a call that my son had got a kidney. So I'm very much a believer. I have a white manager, Will's a white guy, and he said, shit, for 15 years, I thought you were an atheist. I was like, no, Will, I was more agnostic, but making this album brought me closer to God. It brought me closer to the grand being that has designed human beings to be here. So I'm thankful that music brings me closer to my creator.
Well said. Well said. I mean, it's interesting you talk about it like that, because I do think I spend a lot of time out in the world.
Yeah.
I go to a lot of rallies, talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, it's very easy to otherize the MAGA crew, the Trump crew, whatever side you're in. I think we're on a search for something that makes us feel whole, makes us feel part of a community, and gives us a sense of meaning. And I think without that in our lives, we replace it with the quickest, easiest, loudest thing. And so finding a conduit for potential good, I think, is remarkable and to be commended. So kudos on that.
Absolutely, thank you.
Tell me this. I'm also a big fan of Run the Jewels.
Yes,
I love Run the Jewels.
Listen, man, I felt like Run the Jewels got snubbed a few years ago, and one of the best parts about being one half of, to me, the greatest rap group going today is the fact that this album, Michael, also brought LP his first Grammy.
Yes.
So shouts out and congratulations to my partner in rhyme, LP.
Give it up to LP. I'm curious, actually, what is fun as a fan of yours and a fan of LP's, you hear your influences and what you do on solo projects and what you bring to a Run the Jewels project. I think when you are marinating on Michael and sitting down thinking about what is a Run the Jewels project and what is a Killer Mike project, how do you delineate the two?
Well, it's all the same. Not that it's the same sound, the same thing, but so imagine Run the Jewels, the Uncanny X-Men. And then if you're a reader, I'm about to nerd out on you guys.
If you can work polygamy into this, I'm going to be so impressed.
Well, man, who wouldn't want to marry Storm? Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
So Run the Jewels is the Uncanny X-Men. There's a lot of characters come in and out. Rest in peace to Gangsta Boo, Zach De La Roca, Mavis Staples, Josh Homme. All these people have come in. And what we have there is a university where you can find anybody, right? And Michael is just the prequel story to one half of the group Run the Jewels. So Michael is an extension of the Run the Jewels world, and you get to see the reason why I rap about my mother and Run the Jewels. You get to hear the whole story on Michael. So imagine Logan to Wolverine. And that's what this is. So this is an extension of Run the Jewels. That's
all right. Here's the I want to switch gears a little bit. I will say, I rewatched it recently after the George Floyd murder. You made an impromptu press conference in Atlanta. You were asked to make a press conference.
I was.
Which I think is, if you haven't seen it, I think is not only the clarity of it, the catharsis within it, and the call to action, I think is a pretty remarkable moment over the last decade.
Thank you.
Something you said there resonated with so many people. You asked people at a time of unrest. You said to focus on to plot, plan, strategize, optimize, organize,
and mobilize. Absolutely.
We're on that process right now.
Yes.
I know you were talking specifically about police brutality.
Yes.
Here we are 3.5 years later.
Yeah.
Where are we on that? How are you seeing that process unfold?
Well, I'll tell you this. What I was saying that night, because there's a lot of misconstruing, and just I'm going to be honest, people be lying.
They do.
Right? So people have agendas.
I know.
Some people are like, you were defending the cops and crying. I'm like, no, that's not what I was doing. I was actually smoking blunts with Noriega, eating fish sandwiches, trying not to go.
And that's Noriega the rapper.
Yeah, Noriega the rapper. Yeah, shouts out to Nori. And my friend T.I. said, hey, the mayor called me. There's some unrest. I was like, she never called me. And he was like an hour after asking for about an hour. He says, well, if you're not going to go, I'm not going to go. And everybody knows the rap rules. You can't leave your homies down. So I went with him. And so I'm pulling up to the jail with a quarter pound of marijuana, a little stoned.
A quarter pound?
I mean, I had just scored. And
how long does that last?
About a couple weeks, maybe.
Okay.
So I'm there, and I'm just like, okay. And I see our mayor, who's also from me and T.I.'s neighborhood, and she's doing a dynamic job of telling the police, hold off. Don't make a move. We're going to talk to the public first. And then Tip gets up to speak, and I'm just like, okay, I stood in solidarity with my homie. And then he's like, and now Killer Mike. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I just simply told the truth. And the truth is, what happened to George Floyd was a murder. It was evil. It was wrong. The truth is also that Atlanta has long been a fortress for the black civil rights movement in this country and civil rights, period. And if we would have burned Atlanta down, we'd have burned down a fortress that people could use to plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize. So ultimately, all I was saying in that speech was use your homes, use your businesses, use your churches as centers to welcome people in and plan, plot out what are we going to do next. Strategize, organize, and mobilize, and then do the next thing. I challenged them, and my city stepped up. What I'm seeing in Atlanta now is organizers be supported. I'm seeing more organizers come out. My man Rohit down there just gave an amazing speech yesterday. Shouts out to him. He's an Indian-American guy. He's in Atlanta. He's organizing constantly. We're organizing around the vote. I saw Atlantans really welcome other people in to try to push back against the powers that be. That's what my city's always done. That's what we're doing now, and that's what I think we'll do going forward. Organizers do not have to agree with each other. We do not have to agree with methodology, but what we must start to agree with is that there's a problem to be solved, and if we waste too much time infighting, the problems never get solved, and the oligarchs and corporations continue to run this country.
Killer Mike, everyone.